Brother rivalries are a timeless part of sibling dynamics, full of competition, banter, and sometimes a bit of chaos. Rather, it's arguing about who can play the game first, trying to outdo each other in sports, or teasing each other over the smallest things. These rivalries are often fueled by a mix of love, jealousy, and the desire to prove who's the best. And it isn't uncommon for brothers to have the same occupations and try to one-up each other. In the WWE, we've had many siblings who have clashed with each other over different things, with them usually being matched in skill. In this video, I'll be talking about the Uso twins and the match they had at WrestleMania 40. The Usos debuted in 2010 and would feud with different teams and even had help from their other cousin Tamina, bouncing back and forth from Raw and SmackDown, and first started a feud with the Hart Dynasty and had their sights set on the Unified Tag Team Championships, which they were unsuccessful obtaining. From 2011 to 2013, they would feud with many different factions, either for the tag team titles or personal, like the Shield and the Primetime Players, and it wasn't until 2014 where they finally became Unified Champions. They defended from Los Matadores and even the Wyatt family. They would go on to capture the Tag Team Championship 8 times, and they split as a duo in 2023 and would go down in history as the longest running tag team in the WWE. In 2020, Roman Reigns would become an easy target and would constantly get jumped by different people, and this is when we would start to see the Usos coming to his aid often. Every other week, the Usos were helping Roman with someone or someones, and it was at SummerSlam of that year where he would return attacking The Fiend and Braun Strowman turning heel, and later on SmackDown, he revealed that he aligned with Paul Heyman and won his second Universal Championship at Payback. Jey Uso later defeated Daniel Bryan to qualify for Team SmackDown at Survivor Series, becoming Reigns' right-hand man and receiving the moniker Main Event Jey Uso. Jimmy returned from an injury but did not approve of his alliance with Jey and Reigns, but tensions grew between Reigns and Jimmy. Jey Uso temporarily walked out on June 11th, and Reigns manipulated Jimmy into feeling guilty. On July 9th, Jey returned, solidifying their alliance with Reigns and reunited as the Bloodline. The Bloodline began their journey after COVID. They faced Edge and the Mysterios in a 6-man tag team match on July 16, 2022. The Usos returned and challenged the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. They later became 5-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions. At WrestleMania 38, they defended their titles against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, while Reigns captured the WWE Championship with Brock Lesnar. The Usos also defeated RK Bro on May 20th, making all members of the faction double champions. Roman Reigns introduced a new member of the Bloodline, that being Solo Sikoa, who was the enforcer of the group, and in fact, he's Jey and Jimmy's little brother. Sami Zayn, who had been in a rivalry with Drew McIntyre, associated himself with the Bloodline and became an honorary member since they shared a mutual enemy. The Bloodline continued to win championships, including the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Clash at the Castle. After losing to Owens and John Cena on the final SmackDown of 2022, the group began a feud with Owens, who would later challenge Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn was accused of plotting against the Bloodline and secretly allying with Kevin Owens. Prosecutors Paul Heyman showed videos of treachery. Zayn denied having a defense. Outraged by this statement, Roman Reigns called for Sikoa to attack him, but Jey Uso immediately rushed to protect Zayn, offering a passionate defense of the honorary Us, leading to Zayn being declared innocent by Reigns. Roman Reigns retained the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Kevin Owens, and after the match, the Bloodline attacked Kevin Owens, handcuffing him and beating him. Reigns ordered Zayn to hit Owens, but Zayn instead hit Reigns with a chair, turning face for the first time since 2017. Jey left the scene and Jimmy appeared at Elimination Chamber and tried to assist Reigns in his title defense. Jey Uso appeared to hug Zayn before super kicking him, signaling his alliance to the Bloodline. The Usos lost the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but Reigns retained the Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes after the interference from Sikoa, but tensions with the group escalated during the KO show. The Usos interfered in the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship between Reigns and Sikoa, but Owens and Zayn retained the titles. Jey sided with Jimmy and exited the Bloodline, in either association with Roman Reigns. The Bloodline Civil War was announced for Money in the Bank, pitting Reigns and Sikoa versus the Usos. The Usos won the match, with Jey giving Reigns his first direct pinfall loss since December of 2019. The following night on SmackDown, Roman Reigns lied about not wanting to be the tribal chief and attacked Jey. Sikoa and Reigns attacked Jimmy, who was hospitalized. Jey challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Reigns agreed to defend the championship in tribal combat, where the winner would be recognized as a tribal chief of the Wweraw family. Roman Reigns meets Jey Uso at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship and in tribal combat. The two were having a great clash back and forth, dishing each other with painful blows, and Solo Sikoa came to help Roman. Solo cleared the table off, then used the Uranagi Slam to put Jey through the table, then brought him back in the ring and performed another Uranagi Slam. Reigns went for a spear, but Jey avoided it and pulled Sikoa into the spear. Jey followed up with his own spear on Reigns for a near fall. In the closing moments after Reigns went to the floor, Jey attempted to attack Reigns with a chair, but Sikoa caught Jey with a super kick. After Reigns motioned for Sikoa to help him up, Jey speared Reigns through the barricade. Sikoa attempted to slam Jey through the broadcast table, but Jey escaped. Jey super kicked Sikoa, who ended up on the table. Jey went to the barricade and performed a splash on Sikoa through the table. Jey brought Reigns back into the ring and speared him. Then he went on the top rope and performed a splash on Roman Reigns. Jey covered Reigns, but he was pulled from the ring by a mysterious man. The hooded man revealed himself to be Jimmy Uso, who super kicked Jey and then rolled him back inside the ring. Roman Reigns then speared Jey through a table that was set up in a corner of the ring to retain the title and recognition of the tribal chief. After SummerSlam on SmackDown, Roman Reigns wanted to thank Jimmy Uso for helping him retain the undisputed WWE Universal Championship and his tribal chief status against Jey Uso by betraying his twin brother. To show appreciation to Jimmy, he offered him anything he would want. However, Jimmy rejected the offer and explained that his actions at SummerSlam had nothing to do with Roman Reigns. Jey Uso came out and demanded an explanation on why Jimmy betrayed him. Jimmy explained that he was afraid that he would lose Jey if he won the title, highlighting how the title would corrupt him just as it corrupted Roman Reigns. Jey turned his back on Jimmy, prompting the latter to leave the ring. Roman Reigns proceeded to mock Jey for being emotional, attacking Reigns and Solo Sikoa in retaliation. Just as it seemed he was about to forgive Jimmy, Jey also attacked him with a super kick for his betrayal. He then quit WWE and the Bloodline. However, Jimmy would rejoin the Bloodline. Jey would move to Raw a few weeks later. For months, the two were separated from each other. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes feuded with the Judgment Day, which resulted in another undisputed WWE Tag Team title reign for Jey. Jimmy, however, interfered and cost both Jey and Rhodes those titles. In the 2024 Men's Royal Rumble, the Usos were the first two entries in that match, leading up to an intense showdown between the brothers. But very recently, Jimmy once again cost Jey the Intercontinental title in a match against Gunther. It was the final straw for Jey. He continued to lose title match after title match due to his brother interfering in his matches. This resulted in Jey challenging Jimmy to a match at WrestleMania 40. He was tired of trying to escape the Bloodline, only for Jimmy to keep popping up and ruining his moments. The match was accepted, so the twins would meet in Philly. We begin the match, and we have Lil Wayne rapping his first verse for a Millie, who's opening for Jey Uso. Main Event comes out with his entrance, which is the most immersive entrance in the WWE today. I'll admit that Philly isn't as hype as they should be for Main Event Jey Uso, but in later videos we'll talk about the impact he has made in the WWE universe. Next, we have Jimmy Uso, who's the obvious heel of the match. Not gonna lie, I'm messing with his bedazzled tech suit. Jimmy is taunting the WWE universe, and before he could even get in the ring, Jey jumps out of the ring on top of him. Jey couldn't wait to get his hands on his big brother as he picks him up and throws him face first into the ring post. Jimmy couldn't even get mentally right for the match as Jey punches him and grabs him and throws him again into another ring post. Jimmy gets in the ring himself, Jey follows him, and now they can finally begin the match, officially. Jey has the upper hand, then throws him outside again. Jey launches himself outside into Jimmy, keeping him down. Jimmy's back into the ring and Jey is on the ropes. Jimmy runs at him and Jey kicks off the kickoff games with the first to the face of his older brother. Jey goes up top for a crossbody, goes for the pin, and Jimmy kicks out. Jey is focusing on his brother and runs at him, but Jimmy gets him up for a Samoa drop. Jey is in the corner and Jimmy catches him with a running hip attack. Jimmy is collecting himself and gets him again with a running hip attack. Before Jey could stand, Jimmy kicks him in the head. This ain't a super kick, this is just a regular kick. They're giving a great yin-yang, dark side and light side vibe, with Jimmy sporting the bedazzled villainous red pants with black accents and Jey representing the good light side with white pants with blue accents. Jimmy is feeling himself a little too much as Jey is collecting himself in the corner. Jimmy runs at him and gets a white Air Force One to the face. Jey is on the second turnbuckle and tries to do a dive double axe but gets uppercutted instead. Jimmy is giving his little brother a chance to gather his energy while while he taunts him. Jimmy is the first to play the game with the first super kick to the face. He is in his LeBron mode, saying that this is too easy, and does another one. Jay is dazed from getting kicked in the face twice and gets on the ropes, and Jimmy gets him with another one. Jimmy is demanding Jay to continue and helps him up on his feet just to do another super kick. Jay is down, and Jimmy is soaking in all the boos the WWE Universe is dishing out to him for betraying his brother and actually hurting him and liking it, chanting Jimmy sucks. Jay is about to get on one knee and in the process gets another super kick. So far, Jimmy is in the league 5-0. Jimmy is playing the heel well and even goes up top and mimics his signature yeet dance, and the WWE Universe boos him intensely. Jimmy gets into position, jumps off and misses, and runs into Jay's official super kick of the match. The two are up and standing together, and the WWE Universe is backing up Jay with yeet chants, and they're having a back and forth, booing Jimmy's punches and cheering Jay's punches. Jay gets him up in a fireman's carry. Jimmy wiggles his way out of it and gets Jay in the gut and does an uppercut. Jay does the exact same thing. Gut, then follows up with an uppercut. Jimmy tries to kick, but Jay catches his foot and swings it for a Trouble in Paradise. Jay, not even fazed, returns the favor for a Trouble in Paradise. The two are catching their breath. It's a lot of kicking they're doing. Jay is playing the mental game, laughing at Jimmy. They get on their feet. Jay gets Jimmy up again for a fireman's carry. Jimmy fights his way out of the hold and gets Jay with another super kick. Jay quickly comes back and returns a harder super kick. Jimmy loses his step, and Jay front and center demands for Jimmy to hit him. So Jimmy with another super kick. Jay comes back with another super kick. Jay, the only one talking at this point, and asks for another one. So Jimmy with another super kick. Jay collects himself and returns another super kick. Jay is slowly catching up in super kicks as he does his fourth super kick. The score is now Jay 4, Jimmy 8. Jimmy is seeing stars right now as Jay does another super kick. Jay's emotional here as he screams at Jimmy, reminding him that they're twins. Jay comes back with another super kick. Jimmy groggy and can barely stand upright. Jay is in the corner and does a running super kick, which looks to do the most amount of damage, knocking him down. Jimmy can't stand as Jay taunts his older brother to stand up straight. Jay was getting ready to kick his head off with the 8th super kick, but Jimmy puts his hands up, stopping him in the process. Jimmy looks up for mercy and says he's sorry for everything he's done. The WWE Universe is booing Jay for not putting Jimmy down. Jimmy crawls to him and asks for forgiveness. Jay grabs Jimmy's hand and helps him on his feet, but Jimmy springs up and surprisingly delivers a backstabbing super kick. Jimmy gets up top and does an Uso splash and goes for the pin, and Jay kicks out. Jay is dazed while Jimmy is stalking him. Jimmy runs at him but gets caught with a spear. Jay quickly gets up top for an Uso splash, goes for the pin, and is able to win the match. The WWE Universe is hyped and yeeting for Jay as his arms is raised in victory against his evil twin brother. I will talk about many matches, no matter if they're good or bad, and I'll be honest that this was one of those bad matches. Boo! Even though this would be a huge boost in both their careers in the singles division, the actual result was a bit of a letdown. However, the Bloodline buildup was exciting to see. From 2020 to 2023, the Bloodline story amidst Roman Reigns' run as a Universal Champion was nothing short of fantastic. The storyline being as cool as Jay being forced into joining, Sami Zayn's inclusion and rejection, and everything else in between led to some of the best weekly content WWE has seen in many years, and it was something that fans loved. When the Usos broke free of the faction, they became a highly hot act, and fans were looking forward to Jay challenging Roman for the Universal Undisputed Championship at SummerSlam. Even though fans saw it coming, it was nonetheless a big disappointment when Jimmy Uso turned heel on his brother and cost him the match, despite Jay Uso's popularity. Something else to think about in regards to the match not leading up to the hype would be itself being shadowed to the bigger matches on the card. WrestleMania's rivalry between Jimmy and Jay could be well developed, but the Bloodline's bigger stories like The Rock and Cody Rhodes may make the storyline feel like a subplot. Jimmy vs. Jay was a highly anticipated match compared to the other WWE brother vs. brother matches like Bret Hart vs. Owen Hart and Matt Hardy vs. Jeff Hardy. Despite Jay's experience, this marks Jimmy's first pay-per-view singles match in WWE, which also could have been the first sign of it not being so good. The main thing with this match is that they don't have a good moveset. They also wrestle the exact same way. They had nothing to offer but frog splashes and super kicks. It was only a matter of how many more times can they kick each other. I was entertained by the build-up and promos they each gave. It was very entertaining, but the match itself wasn't good. So the rating that I give this match is...
it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Hello everyone, hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making more of these, but sometimes I hit a copyright claim from WWE. I'd like to show you highlights from the match, show you more action. If you'd like to see that, go to my Patreon, which is Chameleonaire, go to my TikTok, which is Chameleonaire, and visit my Instagram, which is Chameleon Season, for more action and more videos. Coming soon.